Hello, thank you so much, and welcome back. Those that have been here since our start, 10 o'clock, thank you so much for being part of the Find Your Leadership Confidence Summit. And we are going to begin the day with a fantastic speaker. Today, I have with me a speaker who I met through my podcasting and was so impressed with her. I said, "You have to be on my next summit." Let me tell you about my next speaker, Tami Jaffe. So, Tami is a success coach, energy shifter, and speaker on topics making better decisions and business growth. Tami guides her clients through the sometimes overwhelming prospect of starting and growing a new business. Her Amazon #1 bestseller book, You Already Made the Decision, You Just Aren't Happy with It, is a guide to how to make better decisions or live the ones you've made. Please join me in welcoming my guest, Tami Jaffe, as she talks to us all about 10x your business with other people's lists. Please welcome Tami Jaffe. Tami, so good to have you. Don't you look gorgeous?
Oh, thank you. So great to be here with you, Vicki.
Oh, it is. It's always, a wonderful to see old friends come back on, and my podcasters guests. I always feel like they're my friends after we spend the 30 minutes together.
For sure.
Please remind everybody, where do you live? Where are you calling in from?
I am calling in from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte, North Carolina. She's not that far away from me. So, for the audience, please share your story about how you began this journey as an entrepreneur. Most of us did not start out from the young age being an entrepreneur. So, take us through that journey.
Sure. All starts back when I grew up on a farm. I won't go that quite that far back.
Awesome.
No, but I did grow up on a farm where I learned the meaning of hard work and really, I mean, they are entrepreneurs. But I knew at that point I didn't want to do the manual labor. So I went to college, got my degree, and became an accountant because that was the furthest thing away from being working on the farm that I could think of. And throughout my career, I call myself a recovering CPA now. I worked my way up through corporate and in finance, and then ended my corporate career as the head of real estate technology for the third largest real estate company in the world. And throughout that, I had lots of ups and downs. I had some great leaders, I had some bad leaders. And I hit a point in my career where I felt like I had hit that glass ceiling. And I didn't know what to do next. I was at a point where I'll share the quick version of the story with you. I was we were going through yet a reorg. Anyone who's worked for a large company, you know that you go through reorgs like every 6, 8, 9 months, it seems like. And we were going through yet a reorganization. I was in middle management at the time. And my managers came to me, I had 2 managers at the time, and said, "We want you to take on an expanded role." And I was like, "Okay, awesome. That sounds great." I was looking to expand and do some more things. So I was really excited about it and looking forward to that next step. And throughout the process, as we were going through the reorg, it took months. Large organization, they're trying to work out the logistics of everything. And I got to a point that I found out I was pregnant. I was waiting to my 12 weeks to let them know because I had been through many miscarriages. And so I finally hit the 12 weeks. I went in and told my managers, and of course they were super excited for me and like, "Congratulations, we're excited for you." But then all of a sudden, everything about the reorganization went silent. When we were meeting every week about it, talking about it, fine tuning things, and all of a sudden everything went silent. And first couple of weeks, I'm like, okay, they're probably just getting approval, something's happening. And got into the third week and I started thinking something's going on here that they don't want me to be aware of. And I finally got a call from one of my managers, who was my direct manager, but I hardly ever met with him. And he's like, can you come to my office? I'm like, okay, I know something's up if he wants me to come to his office. Because, we didn't meet regularly. And I went up to his office, and there sitting was my functional manager, who I did meet with regularly. And I never met with them together. So I'm like, okay, what is going on here? I sat down, and they proceeded to tell me that not only was I not getting the expanded role that we had talked about, but they were also taking away all my direct reports, moving me under a now third manager, different person who knew nothing about what I did or how we did it or why we did it. But they still wanted me to manage basically the team who is now also going to report to him and still take on those responsibilities. And as I sat there, and they started to tell me some more things about other people that were on my team that they were going to put in different positions that I knew didn't align with what they told me they wanted. And I started to feel myself shake. And I finally said, I need to leave before I say something I'm going to regret. And I went back to my office, I closed my door, and I cried for the first time ever at work. And I sat there, and I'm like, I have got to pull myself together. Why is this happening? And what is this?
Yeah.
What is this about? Why is this happening to me right now? I was expecting one thing, and I felt like the carpet was pulled out underneath me. And so I pulled myself together, and I went back in, and I said, I need to know why. Why is this happening? And what they said next hit me even harder than what they had said before. They said, Tami, this isn't what we think you deserve, but this was out of our control. And I sat there and I thought, okay, I obviously don't have control of my career. And now you're telling me, as my direct managers, you don't have control over my career. So who does? And it was in that moment that I realized I didn't want to feel out of control in my career anymore. And that's the moment that had me start trying to figure out what was next for me. I always thought I was just move up through corporate and become a CEO, CFO someday. And that point was pivotal to me. And at the moment, it felt like somebody had punched me and shot me with an arrow, as I always say. You can get shot with an arrow and just get a little hurt, and you can get shot with an arrow and you're down for a while. And I was down for a while. And I had to figure out, what do I really want? And if it hadn't been for that moment, I don't think I would be here with you now. It was that moment that made me realize I want to help more people. I want to be able to do more. I had always called myself a mentor manager. And so as I started exploring, and at that point, coaching was fairly new thing, I started exploring coaching and working with a coach to help me figure out my next career move. I worked with a energy healer to help me heal some physical things that were going on because of the stress and the frustration. And I realized it was a combination of those two things that I wanted to do and help my clients with. And so that was a pivotal moment for me that pushed me. And it wasn't, in that exact moment that I made the change, but it was in that moment that I started to realize I needed to make a change. And over the next couple of years, went through coaching, got my coaching certification while I was still working full time. I did move into a different role and in the organization, and moved into a technology area to get out from underneath what I felt like was holding me down as an interim, and then started to work my way through coaching, and started off as a career and leadership coach because I wanted to help more people as they were going through those transitions, figure out, okay, what do you do? How do you really pivot in those moments?
And for you, the great thing was that you sort of had self-discovery and were willing to take a risk. I'm sure that some of the people that you have as clients or people that are out there listening are like, oh, but I'm not strong like Tami. I couldn't do that. What do you tell that person to give them that confidence that it'll be okay?
Yeah, great question, Vicki. I think the biggest question or statement I got asked when I left my corporate job was, aren't you scared?
Yeah.
So many people came up to me and said, oh my gosh, that takes a lot of guts. Aren't you scared? Aren't you afraid? And this is what I have to say to you guys that are thinking about doing this, or you've already made the leap and now you're like, did I make the wrong decision? It's it is a process. Like I said, it did not happen overnight. I actually set a very specific goal that I wanted to hit. And I knew if I hit this goal, that was going to give me some security while I left and help me to then be able to have time to grow my business. And so one of the things that I recommend is, what is the goal for you? What do you need to make you feel like this is the right move? And for me, it was, I set a goal of what I wanted to hit for my bonus. And I thought about that goal every day. I wrote it down. I use it as my password. I like literally would walk into my office every day thinking about the day I would turn in my resignation. And instead of like dragging myself into the office, I was like, today I'm handing my resignation. What is it going to feel like? And I would build myself up for that moment and start visualizing what that was going to look like. And so for you guys that are in that transition point, I want you to think about that. What does it look like for you when you want to leave? The day came when my boss called me to tell me what my bonus was going to be that year. And this was, I set a goal. I mean, I had never even anywhere close to this. It was a 6-figure bonus that I was asking for. And never come anywhere close. The bonus I got was the exact number that I had been.
No way.
The exact number. And so, and I put together, actually, of giving away, I'll give you guys an extra bonus. I'm putting together a manifestation guide for those in my group. So if you guys want that, just put manifest in the comments. I'll make sure you get a copy of that as well. But the exact things that I did in that moment to help me manifest that. And so I knew, I'm like, if I had gotten a little less, I could have been like, no, it wasn't the number. If I had even gotten more, I might have been like, maybe I should wait till next year and see what my bonus is going to be next year. Like I could have made excuses, but it was the exact number I had set. So what is a goal you guys want to hit to know that this is your right move? And it, like I said, it doesn't happen overnight. You will know when it's the right time. Don't let other people tell you it has to be this specific time. Or I've heard when I was going through the transition, I heard somebody say you need to be making 60% of your income in your business before you transition. I mean, if you were making 60% of your income in your business, I don't know how you would be working. Because to build to that point, like, yes, you should be making income and getting to a certain, or sorry, it was 80%, I think that they said, not 60. And so like, there has to be that turning point, because you can't work 40 hours and get to 100% of your income, especially if you're like a coach or consultant where it's time driven. And so you have to set some realistic goals. What is that going to be, that turning point, so that you know you have some purity while you ramp up on the other side?
So our theme is 10x your business with other people's lists. A lot of times that is whenever people start their business, I hear oftentimes, well, I don't have a list. How can we take advantage of other people's lists to get our list growing?
Yeah, absolutely. There are lots of ways you can do it. So first, let me start with the why you should do it is because, one, it helps to build credibility. So when you can get exposure to other people's audiences, they've already built a rapport with those people, right? They've already built the relationship. And when they bring in you and say, hey, you are the expert in this area, they builds the trust with their people so much faster than you going out on the street and meeting people and them having to build up that trust. Because now someone they already trust has just said they're the expert and set you up for success that way. So it highlights your expertise. It gets you in front of their engaged audience. It helps to build the credibility that you have in what you do and why you do it. It creates a social presence and intrigue, right? So even today, I mean, you guys should be taking screenshots and saying, hey, I'm at this event, sharing it on social media. It creates intrigue when you're doing something with other people and something of interest. It unlocks the opportunities for collaboration. Like Vicki said, I was on her podcast and she's like, hey, you've got to come speak at the summit. This is another way of collaborating, right? And being able to share and getting in front of each other's audiences. And so these are different ways that it really helps to accelerate your list building very quickly without having to spend a lot of money on ads. Because when you're first starting out, you should not be spending money on ads. I'm not going to go down that whole rabbit hole as to why right now, but just know until you get consistent income, because ads take time to figure out and nurture and all of that. And you want to have consistent income coming in unless you've got a big bucket of money or investors that are helping you to do that. But it really helps to unleash that true potential to help you double, triple, quadruple your business. So just let us know in the chat. How many of you here would like to double your business? Just put a 2 in the chat if you'd like to double your business. How many of you would like to triple your business? Put a 3 in the chat.
Yeah.
5 times your business, give us a 5. 10x your business, give us a 10. Let us know, what is your goal? Where do you want to get to? Because it's important to first set that goal, like we talked about. What is it you want to achieve? And so that's the why, right? Like, why should you do it? It builds your exposure, gives you credibility, helps you grow your list fast, and builds that relationship with people a lot faster. Yeah. And so you were asking about the types of things that you can do. And so there are a lot of different things you can do. There's speaking engagements, right? So Vicki has an amazing podcast and she brings on guests. You could be a guest on someone's podcast. You could be a guest at a summit like this, where you are speaking to people with your audience. You could speak at a conference, networking events, Facebook groups. There's a lot of different places that you could do speaking engagements. I always recommend starting with like a podcast or some type of interview style, because it's a lot easier for you if you are in that starting place. You don't have to build out like a whole talk, right? You just kind of got to know your key talking points and be able to have a conversation with somebody. Make sense?
Yeah. And I always say, the more the interview things that you do, the question and answer period actually help you. If you pay attention and you go back to all the podcasts you were guesting on, you could get your talk written for you because of pulling that all together and making it so much easier than sitting down on a blank piece of paper.
Yes, such a great point.
So in the pandemic, we had a lot of time where people evaluated their lives and decided, this is a perfect time for me to make that transition. But they were in the corporate world and their jobs were, kind of dictated to them, and they didn't really have to network. They weren't in a sales job or anything like that. And so now they have to network. Yes. And it's kind of scary to them.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give them about, okay, you gave some great tips on some of the ways that we can do it, but just to get over that fear of, and belief that they have something that's worth sharing.
Yeah. Oh, and I'll take your question kind of in 2 parts, because you mentioned networking and the fear of like getting out and networking, because it's true. When you're in corporate, you don't network with people. I mean, you may go to a conference here or there, but you're there to learn. You're there for a different reason. And so moving into the selling mode, when you are actually getting out there, I mean, I can tell you one of the biggest changes I had to make in my mindset is, I always said, I'm not a salesperson. I'm not a salesperson. Like, I literally said this to myself every single day. I'm not a salesperson. Even before I started my job, my business. I had worked in corporate in a position for a few years where I was supposed to be upselling current clients into new technology. And I realized at that point I was not very good at that. Like, if they didn't need it, I didn't want to have that conversation. And, and so I had to get over this fact and realizing that I always thought of the sleazy car salesman when I thought of salespeople, anyone else. And so I had to get over this feeling that selling was sleazy. And what I realized is I had to reframe it. And the reframe that I had to make is selling as a service. And I want you all to, write that in the chat. Selling is service. When you when you have something that is going to help somebody get over something, do something faster, make more money, that's going to make an impact in their life and give them the results that they want, you would be doing them a disservice if you did not offer it. And so knowing how to have that conversation, knowing how to lead, and I don't mean lead them down to like, I'm going to sell you, but lead the conversation in a way that feels genuine and authentic to who you are makes all the difference. Knowing how to walk into a networking event and have conversations with people where it doesn't feel like you're just there to try to find as many clients as you can, but there to meet people, find collaboration partners, find people who may be the one who's your referral partner, right? So always have an agenda when you're going to a networking event is what I tell my clients is, know what it is. So it may be one time you're looking for speaking engagements, another time you're looking for referral partners. So know what that is. And always go back to what I have to offer is, and I did a retreat and we gave, I don't have one in front of me, but we gave all of the retreat attendees a gold bar and we put on there, what I have to offer is pure gold. Remember what you have to offer is pure gold. And if you have any hesitation that what you have to offer is not pure gold, one, talk to us. I'm sure Vicki or I can help you through that and understanding why you're having this hesitation, because we want you to set yourself up for success, right? There needs to be the value that you're providing. If you're working with people and they're not getting the results, you need to shift something. If they are getting the results, I want you to make a list of all the testimonials you have and read that every single day. That will help boost your confidence, because when you're getting those results and your people are getting those results and you just still have that hesitation holding you back, you've got to step into that confidence, and that comes with clarity, but I won't go into my whole trifecta right now. So that's just one little tip I have for you guys. Write down all your testimonials and read them every single day for 30 days straight and build that confidence muscle.
Great advice. So real quickly, why don't you tell us what's next for you, and then what is your downloadable gift that you have?
Yeah, great. Awesome. What's next for me? Well, we've gone through some transitions this year, which has been fun. We've launched some new businesses, and my husband is also a chiropractor. We've brought in some fat loss lasers into our business. So we have lots of things going on, both in our local businesses, and I have things going on with my business. I think the one thing that's going to be new for me this next year, I had a show before, and I ended up getting a concussion about 1.5 years ago and had to stop the show for a while. And so I am going to be picking back up my podcast and relaunching that in the next year. So that is one of the new things for me that we're excited about getting going as well.
All right. And then tell us about your two gifts. We'll put in the chat your free downloadable that's free to all of the general admission folks. And then also share what your VIP gift is for those that sign up for VIP, and we'll put in, after a few minutes, we'll put in the VIP link again for those that might not have done so.
Yeah, absolutely. Your free gift is your 10x your business blueprint. And so in this guide, we're going to go further into what we just talked about. I'm going to teach you the reach formula that you can use in order to build your business and grow your business quickly. We're going to teach you a bunch of things about how to 10x your business. We talked about some of the ways today. We talked about one, which was speaking and different ways you could speak, but there are 5 other ways in this guide that also talk to you about other things. So if you're like, I don't know if I want to be a speaker, that's okay. You don't have to be a speaker. There are other things. Some people are so much better at writing, doing blogs and other things you can do as well. So the guide is going to give you your blueprint to 10x in your business. So you can get that. They put the link in the chat for you as well. and you can go there to get that. And the VIP, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's the time management training we shared with you guys. So our time management training, this is so incredible. And I always feel bad just calling it our Inspired Time Management Training, because we've had clients go through just the tools and the things that we teach in the time management training and 10x their business.
Oh, wow.
One of our clients just this last year, in less than 6 months, our goal wasn't even to 10x our business in 6 months, but we 10x our business in 6 months just because she implemented some of those tools in the time management training. So we are giving you tools and resources, tips. There's so much in here that's going to help you, one, get clear on what you should be focused on in your business every single day, what you should be doing, what you should not be doing, what you should be delegating, or what you should just delete, right? What you should put off. It's not the priority right now. It's going to give you a bunch of tips and tools of things that you can do to speed up. I'm an efficiency junkie. I was Six Sigma in corporate as well. So efficiency is something that I am passionate about. And so I'm always looking for how can we make things go faster, better, easier. And so we share a lot of those tips and tools with you in this training as well.
Awesome. All right. So again, we're going to go ahead and put that VIP link in the chat for you, but take advantage of the free gift that you have for that blueprint. And again, go ahead and get the, I think we put the wrong link in there. They got rid of it. Okay, good. Awesome. All right. So again, go ahead and upgrade to VIP. And Tami, thank you so much for being such a wonderful guest. I enjoyed very much having you back again, and we'll have to continue to do things together. So if you are out there and you need to 10x your business, she just gave you a great tool to help you do that.